While the city sleeps and tourists abandon the palace gates, another world awakens. A world governed by silence, discipline, and unwavering vigilance. The royal guards who stand motionless during daylight hours transform into something else entirely when darkness falls. Not performers for cameras, but practitioners of a centuries-old tradition that demands everything and offers little recognition in return. This is the story of what happens when the crowds disappear. The preparation begins hours before nightfall. In quarters hidden from public view, guards arrive for their briefing. They've already completed their physical training earlier in the day, miles of running, strength conditioning, drill practice. Now comes the mental preparation. Officers review the night's assignments, rotation schedules, and specific security protocols. Each guard knows their post, their relief time, and the exact procedures for every conceivable situation. The uniform inspection is meticulous. Every button, every crease, every piece of ceremonial regalia must meet exacting standards. A senior officer walks the line, examining boots polished to mirror finish, checking that bearskin caps sit at precisely the correct angle, ensuring medals align perfectly. This isn't vanity. It's discipline made visible. The uniform represents something larger than the individual wearing it, and any imperfection suggests a lack of respect for that responsibility. What outsiders rarely understand is that these guards are active military personnel. They've completed the same rigorous training as any soldier, often with additional specialized instruction. Many have served in challenging deployments. They're trained in defensive tactics, observation techniques, and emergency response. The ceremonial aspect of their role sits atop a foundation of genuine military competence. As twilight deepens, the guards take their positions. The famous posts, the ones photographed millions of times each year, continue to be manned. But now the real work begins at locations the public never sees. Entrances used by staff, service corridors, perimeter checkpoints, communication stations. Each position matters equally in the comprehensive security network that protects the palace and its occupants throughout the night. The standing itself is a skill honed through years of practice. A guard on watch doesn't simply stand still. They maintain a specific posture designed for both alertness and endurance. Weight distributed properly, knees slightly flexed, to maintain circulation, breathing controlled, eyes moving in systematic patterns to monitor their designated area. They're trained to remain in position for 2-hour blocks, though in extreme weather or special circumstances, rotations may be shortened. During these hours, the mind becomes both enemy and ally. Guards learn techniques to stay sharp during the monotonous stretches. They mentally rehearse emergency procedures. They observe patterns in their environment, noting what's normal so they can instantly recognize what's not. Some silently recite regulations or mentally review their training. Others focus on breath control or develop personal mental exercises that keep them present and alert. The silence of the night shift carries its own weight. Without the distraction of crowds, without the background noise of daytime activity, every sound becomes significant. Footsteps approaching, a door closing in a distant hallway, the wind against windows. Guards develop an acute sensitivity to their environment, distinguishing between the normal nocturnal rhythm of the building and anything that might warrant attention. Hierarchy governs every aspect of the watch. Junior guards take direction from corporals, who answer to sergeants, who report to officers. This structure isn't arbitrary. It ensures clear chains of command during any incident. A new guard might spend their first night shifts at less critical posts, gradually earning positions of greater responsibility as they demonstrate reliability and judgment. Respect must be earned through consistency, not demanded through rank alone. The physical toll accumulates gradually. Hours of standing strain muscles and joints. The heavy uniforms, designed for ceremony rather than comfort, become burdensome during long shifts. Winter nights bring bone-deep cold that seeps through layers of wool. Summer brings stifling heat beneath thick fabric and fur caps. Yet complaining is considered a failure of character. This is the commitment they accepted, and thousands before them endured the same conditions. Mental endurance proves equally challenging. The boredom of uneventful nights tests resolve as surely as any crisis would. Fighting fatigue at 3 in the morning, maintaining perfect posture when every muscle aches, staying vigilant when nothing has happened for hours. This requires a particular kind of strength. It's not the dramatic courage of facing obvious danger, but the quiet fortitude of doing what's required, regardless of recognition or immediate purpose. Throughout the night, supervising officers make rounds, appearing without warning to check on each post. They're not looking to catch guards failing, they're ensuring welfare and maintaining standards. A brief exchange confirms the guard is alert and well. Any concerns about equipment, health, or suspicious activity are reported immediately. These check-ins provide structure to the long hours and reinforce that no one stands watch alone. The moments of actual incident are rare, but reveal the true nature of the training. A perimeter alarm triggers. A person appears in a restricted area. An unusual sound requires investigation. In these moments, the ceremonial guard transforms into the trained soldier. Responses are swift, coordinated, and professional. The situation is assessed, appropriate action taken, backup summoned if needed, and reports filed. Then it's back to the watch, adrenaline slowly fading, vigilance undimmed. As dawn approaches, fatigue deepens. This is often the most difficult period. The body's natural rhythms signal that sleep should have come hours ago. Yet discipline holds. The final hour of any shift demands the same standards as the first. A guard who weakens as relief approaches is considered unfit for the duty. The commitment extends through the last minute of the last rotation. Relief finally arrives. The formal exchange is brief and precise. Information passes from one guard to the next. Anything noteworthy from the watch is reported. Then the departing guard steps away, maintaining composure and bearing until they're out of public and official view. Only in private quarters does the exhaustion show. The careful lowering into a chair, the slow removal of heavy gear, the deep breath of someone who's been controlling everything, including their breathing, for hours. After-action reports are filed. Equipment is checked and stored. Uniforms are prepared for the next shift, someone else's next shift, as the rotation continues endlessly. The guard who just completed their watch might have a day off, or might report for other duties, or might need to sleep before training that afternoon. The individual's schedule matters less than the collective continuity. The watch never ends, even as individual watchers cycle through. What sustains guards through this demanding cycle isn't glory or public admiration. Most of their work goes unseen and unacknowledged. Instead, they're sustained by something deeper, a sense of purpose in maintaining traditions that stretch back centuries, pride in meeting standards that many cannot, and the quiet knowledge that they're trusted with a responsibility that matters. In an age that celebrates visibility and recognition, the Royal Guards teach us something countercultural. That the most important work often happens in silence, that true discipline requires no audience, and that duty fulfilled without expectation of praise holds particular dignity. Their night shifts reveal a fundamental truth about character. Anyone can perform when people are watching. The real measure of commitment is what we do when no one will ever know the difference. The guard standing at a remote post, at 4 in the morning, seen by no one, maintaining perfect standards anyway. This person understands that integrity isn't conditional on recognition. Their restraint speaks to another valuable lesson. In a world that encourages constant self-expression and immediate response to every stimulus, these guards practice the power of control. They absorb insults from tourists without reaction. They stand through discomfort without complaint. They maintain composure regardless of circumstance. This isn't weakness or suppression, it's strength channeled through discipline. The collective nature of their service matters too. No single guard protects the palace. The system does. Each person fulfilling their specific role, trusting others to fulfill theirs, contributing to something larger than individual achievement. They teach us that some of life's most meaningful accomplishments are those we share credit for, where personal recognition matters less than collective success. Perhaps most importantly, they demonstrate that patience and persistence have their own quiet power. Not everything worth doing brings immediate results or obvious impact. Sometimes our contribution is simply being present, remaining ready, maintaining standards, doing what's required hour after hour, shift after shift, year after year. This unsexy, unglamorous consistency forms the foundation upon which more visible achievements rest. The guards standing watch tonight and tomorrow night and every night after aren't asking for our admiration. They're simply doing what they've committed to do, upholding standards set long before they were born, trusting that the work itself has meaning even when meaning isn't immediately apparent. In their silent service, they offer us a question worth considering. What are we willing to do, to maintain, to uphold, even when no one is watching? What standards matter enough to us that we'd preserve them without praise? What duties would we fulfill simply because we said we would? The answer to those questions says everything about the kind of people we are and the kind of world we'll create together.